Wanted to take just a couple of minutes here and review with you a interview that I read in the National Associations of Enrolled Agents EA Journal. This interview is of Richard Tierney. Richard is the director, excuse me, of the Small Business and Self-Employed Examination Division at the IRS. I found this particular article and interview fascinating because I do this kind of work, but also I thought it was great for the general public to be able to hear from someone of Richard's position the execution of the current plan that the IRS has. So I'll just jump right into it here. The question of the interview that I thought provided the most information is this one. Tell us about the IRS hiring initiative. Why is it important to the IRS to hire now? And then this is his response. This is an exciting time at the IRS. The Inflation Reduction Act has provided the IRS with resources to help remove constraints and expand enforcement in areas where our current audit rates have been too low, to address systematic non-compliance. This is part of a larger effort of the IRS to ensure large corporate, large partnerships, and high-income individual filers report and pay the taxes they owe. So, relatively short response, but a lot of information in here, and I'd like to just kind of dissect this information here with you. And the first thing that we want to address is the resources. So the IRS has resources, and what he's referring to there is simply money. They have the money now to put the systems in place and to hire the people to operate the systems that they want to put in place. The next part of his response that we want to address is the systematic non-compliance. So they have resources, money now, to address the systematic non-compliance. The systematic non-compliance that he is referring to is the tax gap. If you're not familiar with the tax gap, you can do a quick Google and it'll give you all the information that you need. But simply, it is the amount of revenue that the IRS believes it should have, but it does not have because people do not file their tax returns correctly. The next part of his response addresses audits. He says in this response, audits rates have been too low. So his response to the question is that we now have money to address the non-compliance, and we're going to address the non-compliance by increasing audits. So we've heard it a lot of ways. We've seen a lot of mainstream media articles and different things of that nature, but this is coming straight from the director of the Small Business and Self-Employed Examination Division. The last part of his response, and I actually think it's the most important part of his response, is when he refers to high-income filers. High-income filers have been identified and defined by the IRS as anyone who grosses $100,000 a year. So if you're a self-employed mechanic and you make gross $115,000, you pay a couple people to help you, you've got your regular expenses, material supplies, insurance, what have not. At the end of the year, you net $60,000 to $70,000 a year, you are still by definition a high income individual. So a lot of information in that particular response. I thought that was a great article to share with you that is directly from someone in Richard's position, which is unique, and I don't know that everybody gets to hear, gets access to this kind of information. So hope you found it helpful. Thanks for listening.